welcome back. So this is going to be a big weekend ahead. It is day one of the 9 hour of Kyalami, the SA Endurance Series. I've not been part of it since Roger Pierce who started it, and he owned it years back. That's when we did it. Then now it's under new ownership, and Pesty Racing have kindly invited me to join them. So it's going to be awesome. We have a very heavy weekend. It is Thursday today. Today is practice and qualifying, and then tomorrow, Friday, we got early in the morning a 3.5 hour race, then night practice and quali for the 9 hour on Saturday. And obviously Saturday we have a 9 hour race. The team is in line to win a championship, so we have our goals for the weekend. We know what we need to do, and we just got to make everything happen. So this is the start of many hours of driving, and I'm so excited. This is so cool. I've barely slept this whole week, just pure excitement. So this is gonna be mega. I've got two fast teammates, so I've got to pull my socks up. Let's give it a go. Yeah. Right. Yeah. First session due to having a clutch problem, so we pulled the box out, fixed that, and got out for the second session. And I've been super excited for this weekend, and I was suddenly became nervous. So it was Byron went out first, and the car was good, and then Harm went out, and then myself. So there was a lot of getting used to. I've not driven a car, well, that type of car here. And there's some setup things we never work on, but man, it was so cool. I'm frustrated with myself because I need to improve and get a little quicker. I made silly mistakes, but I suppose that's all part of it. We're now going for the last practice session before the qualifying and then the night practice, and this is going to be really cool. So I really just need to get my head right. But this weekend is so cool. This is a lot of fun. Here's an update before our next session. About to start in about 5 minutes. Byron's getting ready. He's going to go first, then Arm, then myself. I'll get the darkest stint. So I'm really looking forward to this. We missed the third practice. Well, Byron went out and checked the brakes, and as Arm got in, we had brake bombs. So that was us out, and now it's sorted. Thankfully, a lot of hard work from the team. It's a really cool team, and now let's give it a go in quality. This is going to be a lot of fun. Now it's time to enjoy it. Well, try hard and enjoy it.
Over. And now we see the last of the cars coming out of the pit lane, and this is the final moment of the evening. The third drivers in these V8s need to now put on their best performance in not ideal conditions. As far as I know, they haven't had any nighttime practice at this stage.
No, and currently in the 262 car is a person that hasn't had any practice at all in night with this car, and that is Michael Kernick.
Michael Kernick, who's that again?
I don't know, some guy that went overseas and raced. But it's going to be interesting to see how it works.
To be clear, the brother of my colleague over here, Steve Kernick. Continue, please.
Had to put that one
yes,
in, eh?
Yes,
okay, fair enough. But they are going and driving with a bit of damage to the gearbox that they're going to have to replace the gearbox tonight to get it all sorted out. So let's see how it's going to go. For the championship leading team, the pressure is on, and Michael's got that added pressure to him to ensure that the team is...
circuit, and a colleague of mine from the motoring industry, Mashigo, Seshaba Mashigo, of course, doing exceptionally well in the media challenge, winning his year, winning that championship, and then going on to compete this year again in the GR Cup, and now finds himself in a backdraft. Not his first time, but he is very much looking forward to being much more involved at the end of this season now for this final round, and obviously going into next season as well. So I wish Mashigo Seshaba lots of good luck in this weekend's racing activities.
It's going to be a close one though, and as you said, not his first rodeo in the race. So taking a look, Michael Kernick able to put a 207.0 on the clock, with Ben Court running a 209.0, so trying to go and close up that gap a little bit. Let's see how it's all going to happen during the course of this. They've got 10 minutes to make it work to put themselves as high up through the field as possible. Remember, they're going to be the first cars to start feeling the faster cars come through. Those Class A's, the Nova Proto.
Somebody's jumped the curb there. The sausage curb has potentially claimed another scraping victim over there.
And that was Michael.
That was Michael. Kernick gets it, jumps it over the sausage curves over there. And I've got to say, I was on the sim this last week. I haven't played Kyalami in a long time. I was able to aim the car into the groove alongside it. That is where the difficulty lies, and it's pitch black out there at the moment. So Kernick, hopefully, we saw sparks coming out the car, hopefully nothing damaged. It's a tough old horse, this V8, isn't it?
Well, that's it. They are built as reliable, tough vehicles that you can jump into, and that's what has made the class so brilliant, because they're reliable vehicles. You can't call them old because they are built in the most recent.
Are key. And these drivers are putting in a consistent performance on a national stage, and I wish all these drivers good luck to win, for some of them, potentially their first national title, and that would be an incredible honor to be able to get that silverware on Saturday. But let's get back to the action here as Ruan van Zyl leads us off there in first place. Now, I'm going to look at my timing system, my advanced screenshotted timing system. If my brief calculations are correct, as the flag comes out, we might see the 262 car at the top step for qualifying, but don't quote me on that because these are all rough calculations, folks. There is an asterisk right next to that.
So qualifying done. Byron did a decent time. He got into a mid-5, if I remember. And then he reports in the radio there's a problem with the gearbox. So it's like, oh no. And then there was 10-minute breaks in between the 10-minute qualies. So Harm came in and he went out and he radioed and saying it's fine. So I was like, okay, well, let's just send it. And I've not done a proper flying lap, or here in the night, I've not actually done a flying lap at night, period. And I got the stint where it just went like dusk night, and it was so cool. It was a lot of fun. I managed to go fastest in class, so I'm over the moon. Of course, I was like, I can go faster, but there was a point like also nursing. So yeah, we got a race tomorrow. But so far, it is 4 in the morning, and we're gonna go. Well, it is race day. It's brilliant. It's a 3.5 hour race this morning. So, and then later it will be the qualifying 9 hour and night practice. So Dad, myself, and James are getting to the track early to go over the car and finish up some last things, and then we go racing. Let's go check it out. That's what it needed.
Will be ablaze as we red light, and we will be going green in the next couple of moments. Nerves are at the ready.
Here we go. It's the 3 hour at Kyalami. First of two big race weekends, and we are underway. Looks like the Lamborghini just a little ahead there coming across the start line. But it's a corner that welcomes them, and as we've seen before in the year, it takes the Nova a few laps really to get up to speed, but everybody please safely through there. We've got 12 hours of racing to come.
Now, well, heading into turn 2, you can fit 3 GT3 cars without any problems, and as they snake their way up, it looks like the Janetta getting some pressure put on as JP Morrow all the way out from Brazil, going and having a great time and really pushing Craig Jarvis a little bit, who didn't want to interfere too much, but it looks like he doesn't want to lose out to the Norman Nova ahead of him.
Wow, two cars going side by side through sunset. You don't see that quite often, but here we go. The Nova already up to pace. Brenner, and of course the red race number that you saw there was right, we've got yellow safety car. Safety car is out. We're getting a notification of the safety car just looking out of our windows here, and there we go, confirmation there. So just slow down their safety car. We'll have to pick them up. Oh, they're going to have to brake quite hard. There we go. And the recovery vehicle as well. So the number 10 has just stopped. So that looks like perhaps mechanical rather than an incident.
Well, it's going to be up to the Proton vehicles to go and catch up with the field, but it means whatever gap that was originally pulled by the Norman Nova, the Just for Sleep, that they thought, we got the best start in the world.
Yeah.
That's all been in an AMG GT3 trying to really push his way up through the order.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. All right, so let's have a quick little look as to see where we are in terms of the other categories. So we're very much focused on the front of the race, but just run us through a little bit about where we are in the roadsters and in Class B, C, D.
So we've got Charles Ranchis, who's leading out the 1 hour dash. They are running in 5th place, with Craig Jarvis running in 2nd. That's going to be trying to make up a bit of time. Moving at 3rd of it is going to be Mo Mia, who's been really having a good time. He is down in 10th position behind the likes of Damian Hammond and Nathan Hammond. They're running 9th and 8th respectively, and Heinrich Larzachon in 7th. But going down to our Class E's though, and that is our National Roadster V8. It's Gavin Rook leading out the Class E's, lying in 22nd position, with Garcia running in 2nd, with Pretorius running in 3rd. They've still been having a bit of problems with the gearbox, but this is worst case scenario for the Pretorius team, for the Pesty racing team. They need to ensure that they get up into 1st place to try and open the gap to run away. And unfortunately, Garcia,
he said he had raced been to East London and to Swartkop, so great to see him racing at Kyalami now.
Right, so just to confirmation then, we had thought perhaps that JP Mauro was racing in the 1 hour dash, but confirmation that he is joining up in the Class B category, and with San Mudley this weekend in that Mercedes, a car that we're familiar with here in South African racing. And the sound of that car.
That's what I was going to
You could be a
add.
marshal, you could be involved with administration, you could also go racing, team mechanic, etc. So it's not just about the race car drivers. Yes, they are the stars of the show, but there are so many layers to this type of event, and it's so good to see young talent coming in here to just be part of it and see where they can end up.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to
As we
come
make our way into the final sectors over here towards the last left-hander, Ingwe, which loosely translates into leopard corner.
side of the track, so this will
not good.
once again be a safety car intervention.
Over there, and that would have done some suspension damage, that would have done some wheel damage, tire damage, potentially. He's still out there at the moment, so Hirsch with a big moment through the S's. Thank goodness there's not a wall there.
Oh, that was a massive one.
But good to hold on to that car and maintain control over there. Fantastic as they head over the start-finish line, still under yellow flag safety car conditions. I think they're waiting for the leader to pull out at the moment so that they can pick up the leader, Steve Clark, in first place now. Now all of a sudden everything's changing. You got Lateghan now in second position, Jensen in third. Jensen obviously in now.
Yeah, Michael
the
Jensen in
Nick Adcock car, just for sleep car. Letlaka in fourth place. JP Maro slipping down to fifth. But this is the thing about endurance racing that I don't like. It's so confusing once the pit stops start.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you know, already from early stages of the race, the leaders were mixing up with the back markers.
Yes.
So it does get a bit challenging at times, but with the benefit of live timing, they are. Let's just pick up on the live timing where they position, their track position they were.
Hirsch is currently running in second position in that backdraft over there. But yeah, what a fantastic start to this 3 hours so far.
That's going to be an exciting one.
Speed, and those are things that with clever use of data and the right people to analyze that data, you can quickly figure, oh my goodness, the 169 car spins out on the main straight. Luckily no issues there, luckily not hitting the wall. Oh, if the rest of the field makes their way past, they're gonna have to take evasive action, and a very close incident over there. Was that Franco? It was the 169 car. That's Gigi
that's out on track. So unfortunately a little bit too early on the power, got the rear to step out, and that was all they had. But that's it, the head flip to tails to heads that comes into play. But
literally,
with our Class E's, our National V8 Roadsters, there's a lot on the line. Michael Kernick now taking over for the Pesty Racing is going to try and charge his way to the top. As I said, 50 points if you score first place here today. That will open up the championship a little bit more.
It certainly will, considering that the leaders at the moment have 100 points. So that means, as I mentioned over and over in the broadcast, that it's anybody's game at this stage. We see Kernick over there behind the wheel, and you've got some inside information from Kernick, who currently leads off Class E at just 1.3 seconds, with Fabian Lance just behind him. As he comes up to a back marker now, does Kernick. He's going to try and get past, because Lance, I'm sure, is hunting him down.
Fabian's not going to make it an easy run. Michael looking left and right, but just can't get the drive. It's going to have to be getting late onto the anchors.
Here comes White.
Yep, now that pretty much kills out any opportunity to try and get the pass done and dusted. He's going to still try and send it on the 24, and unfortunately not going to have an easy time there, as going is making sure not to lose out any bit of time through Cheetah. And this is only helping Lance to get a bit closer to Michael Kernick, who is fishtailing all over. He's getting a bit panicky. He doesn't want to have this, and Lance is on his tail. This is going to be a rough race, start to finish, as a back marker may influence the entire race for the 3 hour for the National V8 Roadsters. But let's go down to the pit lane and get a bit of information of what's been going on.
We're in pit lane with Damian Hammond.
A little bit tough fighting with Bigfoot, especially with the Merc.
I don't think we got the overall pace to catch them, but we're just looking for a good, strong finish. For us, it's going more about the championship. So for us, we just want to get as much points as possible today.
And that's one of the hardest things, I think, for a driver when it comes to racing is you got to finish a race and you got to give it your best, but you still got to save the car and the drivers to make sure you get across that finish line. So it's always a tough one to, to navigate at the end of the day. But you guys are doing well. The car's going strong. Unfortunately, your family are out. What happened to them?
Yeah, the first hour, they went very, very well. They were lying fifth in class, busy fighting with the Porsche. It took a bit too much curb going into the one turn. As soon as the car came down, it snapped one of the rear drive shafts. And unfortunately, we do not have a spare one on site, so we had to retire the car.
Always a pity when you have to retire a car so early into an endurance race. At the end of the day, it's about finishing and crossing that finish line in order to gain points, especially when you're going for a championship. So we're holding thumbs for you guys, crossing fingers. Let's hope you get there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good luck.
Sound insights there from Paige Lindenberg as we see the backdrop battle continue now with Fabian Lance chasing down our man Kernick over there. The gap now 1.9 seconds. Let's see if that gap changes as our timing board updates. It currently is to 2.9 seconds, so a little bit of respite there even after catching up the traffic. I've got to say that 24 car was giving a little bit too much resistance there, if you ask me. I wonder if the official's going to say anything about that. Maybe he just drove his own race on the racing line at pace. They've got to go around him.
You followed the rule book. You hold your racing line. It's up for the faster car. That's Fabian into the dirt.
59 car of Roach going past over there, and Franco just in the mix in 6th place. And there goes the BBR Porsche, the number 5 Porsche. Keegan Masters now behind the wheel, and Keegan Masters absolutely flying in 2nd position at the moment, and Jensen still leading off in the Just for Sleep car in 1st position, 31 seconds ahead of Keegan. Stuart White now dropping down to 3rd position. 1st, 2nd, 3rd in Class A on your screen at the moment. And as you can see, Sam Woodley in 1st place in B. Exactly what's happening. Each of these cars, each of these drivers, each of these teams has a story to tell.
Well, that's it. And not to sound like Ferrari having a scenario for everything, as it stands with Jensen, Masters and White running 1st, 2nd and 3rd, going with the points, it will be into Africa coming out of it with 172 points. They will be 3 points ahead of BBR at this stage of the game. And then 19 points behind BBR is Just for Sleep.
So what does that mean going into tomorrow?
Go fast or go home. That's what it is right now.
So tomorrow is basically turning into a sprint race.
It's going to be 9 hours sprint race, same as this 3 hour, because what's happening is if this stays what it is right now, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, we are going to have one of the closest runs between 3 different teams tomorrow, where the separate
earpiece. It's time to go.
Yeah, get the hammer down, keep going, because you need to keep Stuart White behind you at all costs.
Oh, big moment there for the 262 car. That is Michael Kernick over there. And lots of sawing on the steering wheel over there. He's not going to want to do that too many times.
No, and especially Francois will be saying, listen, you got to put the hammer down and get going, but don't break the car. And remember, they are sitting with a gearbox that has a bit of unsurety whether it's going to hold for the entire race or not.
Oh my goodness.
So depending on how this goes is whether they need to do a bit more work on the car before the 9 hours tomorrow, or whether they feel that they've done enough. This car has had its clutch plate give up, it's had the pressure plate give up, it's had gears go and landed up with a problem. In Aldo Scribanti, they only had 3rd gear. They had to finish in 3rd gear, couldn't change it out of that. And this is always the toughest part about it. Now Michael Kernick, who's new to the car, is going to have a very, very aggressive pass as Jensen through the S is making quick work of the National V8 Roadster, and shows you the 2 classes between the National V8 Roadsters, which is more welcoming to drivers, a bit of an easier approach to endurance racing. You can either own the car, which Pesty Racing has, or rent, which is like the majority of the cars, but you still get the backing of Backdraft to get the car sorted out, tons and tons of spares and also the expertise. Once you get hold of one of these vehicles, whether you buy one or rent one, there's always a bit of movement going forward, and Backdraft really pushing the series further and further and further. I had a chat to Brian Martin. He says where it starts to where it is now, to see the interest level is just huge. From a series of we want to put our cars on show to being one of the penultimate categories in South Africa that you want to be a part of in the National V8 Roadsters. And being their first year to walk away with national colours is going to be a huge thing for the Pesty team, as they want to go and walk away with that big smile on their face. And when you've got the likes of Michael Kernick, who is also going to have a great run. He's getting his national colours this weekend, I would believe.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, and speaking of colors, I mean, it's great to see so many South African athletes getting recognized by Motorsport South Africa. We've got some young karters down in Cape Town getting lots of recognition. Appreciate your support and enjoy the rest of the racing.
That's going to be a great run. I've got to say, this is going to be a very interesting, and we are now with 1 hour and 20 minutes left of the race.
1 hour 20 minutes left. The 262 car, Michael Kernick leading off Class E at the moment, all on his own there, and no issues from him as we see that beautiful Alfa Romeo in the background over there. But he is not competing in the same class. Of course, the Backdraft Roadster leading off the rest of the Roadsters. 43 seconds the gap now to Lance, so comfortable lead from Kernick. And considering that they got some issues with that gearbox, I mean, how is he changing gears? Just snapping.
It's a bit of a snap there. It's not getting into gear nicely, so it's wearing it down quite a bit. They actually changed the oil in the gearbox last night to just try and see how it's all going to go, see if there's any metal filings in it, and it's just hanging on a hope and a prayer at the moment for it to just hold down the 3 hour, because after the 3 hour they'll be able to have a bit more time, put in a brand spanking new gearbox and then get going. Last night there was no time after qualifying to be able to do that switch, despite them saying it was going to take roughly about 45 minutes in the dark. It's you can add it to an hour, and all the teams deciding, let's not try and change anything now before a race that is critical to our championship. Let's rather make sure that we can keep it up and going.
Yeah, we've got Nadine ready in the pits, ready to chat to us some more about some of those inner workings of pit lane. Over to you, Nadine.
Thanks, Ernst. Okay, so I'm here with David.
Into the car to take on Keegan Masters. And we've also got Stuart White on track. So if you want to talk about a bit of controlled chaos, you're about to see three of the fastest drivers here today, and I would say the fastest drivers here in South Africa, to battle it out.
Barron's in. We got 18 minutes left in the race. Barron is 1 lap ahead. Well, we are one lap ahead of second place. So it is very stressful now. We're nursing a fifth gear problem. We're jumping out of it, so I had to drive holding it in fifth, which is quite cool. We managed to get us from, I think we were 15th last time, into first in my stint. And then I handed over to Barnes. We dropped second in the pit stop, and then he got us back to first. So it's really been it's been a champion run from the team so far. Let's see what we can do. We are stressing.
Just to tell you weather conditions, we've had this little breeze coming up the main straight. That sort of died down during this last hour, and it's just started to turn. It's swinging now. We might see it coming down. It's not going to have too much impact on these drivers. We'll see how that picks up later in the day.
Finish line, we'll get an update at this stage. Still showing 1 lap ahead for...
Well, it looks like, just looking out of our commentary window, it looks like the Inter Africa Racing Lamborghini team are going to do a splash and dash. And that's going to be interesting to see where he's going to come out with Charles Visser now. Still waiting to come through the start and finish, but we're looking at around 45, 50 seconds.
Well, it's around 45 there. So let's see, 46 seconds. So good call there. But if Stuart White is coming to the pits, that lead is then...
But look at the times, the last lap times out there. So Stuart White obviously pushing quite hard, and there's a bit of traffic to get through for the 59 Lamborghini. But Stuart White last time, a 1:44.0. Look at that, to make their way away from work. A busy time of the year, everybody wrapping up, looking forward to Christmas. Right, we're going to go down to the pits. Nadine is with Sun Mudley. They seem to be in the pit for a little while.
What permutations is this going to now change up for us? Are we going? I'm just rubbing my.
The moment to collect the checkered flag for the SAES. 3 hours of Kyalami, the 3-hour 20-minute endurance that was.
It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. Yes, I can use my dad joke, thank you. But coming across is the Pesty Racing that has now successfully opened up their championship quite a lot, because the only ones they'll be able to chase him down now will have to be the Swiss Hotel School, and they will have to win outright tomorrow, with Pesty Racing not even finishing on the podium, and Trade Core Steel is going to be the closest to that to fight it out. So it's going to be a very interesting time tomorrow, and I'm really trying to figure out how it's going to work. But considering they were holding it in 5th gear, and reports coming from the drivers saying that the right arm is extremely strong at the moment compared to the left, well, for obvious reasons, as they battle their way around. And it's been a great show, but this has been a very tough race. You wouldn't think a 3-hour would be an Achilles heel for a lot of drivers, but it doesn't matter how much you've gone and improved, you've gone and had a tough time out there. It doesn't matter how easy you think it is. Well, that's championship going for it. But there is going to be a team going through
Against Stewie White. In 4th place, Bigfoot.
Second place, we've got Backdraft Racing SA number 87. And in 1st place, we've got Team Pesty Racing.
First place or second place?
First. Second's not here. Class B.